Hello, my name is Rocco Devona, and I will be reflecting on my internship at Sikorsky Aircraft. I started the internship last August. I've been there for almost a year now. I found out about the internship through a school email. I was very excited to start my time there. I knew that there was a lot for me to learn, especially from a technical perspective. I never used SAP, Business Warehouse, and although I've used Excel before, I've never really used it to the extent that they use it there. In the objectives video that I posted earlier on, I just kind of was overviewing my want to understand the labor metrics more, the overtime, missing labor, indirect on direct, how employees are charging their time, which ultimately affects the cost per hour and how we're billing the customer. So really understanding like the trends and underliers of that process was really important to me, and it really stuck out as something that I could pull away from this experience. So when I was looking over the labor metrics, which is pretty much just performance review, I knew that every company on some level, they have manufacturing, they have cost levels, accounts that things are getting allocated to, and I just wanted to see, what's the type of potential there? What can I understand, kind of farm, get my hands in, understand better, and just kind of wonder about what other pools of revenue can they potentially tap into, or levers that they could pull to be more profitable at the end of the day. From a technical perspective, as I touched upon, that took center stage for me. I thought it was going to be a lot more learning of like the process, but the more I learned and used Excel on a day-to-day basis, I was really able to perfect my use of pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, just being able to pull the data outside of the financial planning tools and software such as SAP and Business Warehouse. But what I was able to do with it after that, just kind of manipulate the data and kind of turn that data into information. I feel like from a financial perspective, it's one thing just to send somebody a report with a bunch of data lines, but how can you present it and just make it understandable in a way? Maybe it's graphs, more visual. And what I learned with the pivot tables and VLOOKUPs is that no matter how dull or extensive a data report can be, you can really shape it up quite nicely to present to management or somebody not in finance so they could get a better understanding of what that was about. I also had the opportunity to work with some summer interns, and their term at Sikorsky is wrapping up right now. So it was really cool getting to introduce myself, get to know them, and kind of having that extra 6 months of intercompany experience really helped me and showed me the type of learning curve of working at such a big place and how well it served me. Just as I was getting familiar and Excel was becoming my second hand, they were still trying to get up to speed and understand the nuances of even Microsoft Excel. So that served a huge plus for me. Now I was able to look into the process and take a step behind like the technical skills. What could I help them with? Just kind of get their soft skills up as well. Of how would you go about presenting it, wrapping it up in an email. You're not always going to be able to hand somebody something face to face. So there's just a lot to learn and pull in from this internship. Again, I thought it was really just going to be understanding a process, but it was so much more than that of how can you present an idea to somebody who can make that data actionable data, make changes from that, really correct things going forward. It's definitely a team effort. So I knew that going in that, you're kind of one little person in a big company, but you can really make your stance there. And from an internship perspective, even if you just make your position a little bit better than when you came in, you're just kind of slowly advancing that stick ahead. And for the next person, hopefully they can just pick up that slow advancement. And that level of constant improvement was just kind of always in the back of my head of how do I want to leave this position for the next person. And I know of the objectives that we listed, we really wanted to say what would we be able to put on our resume and really just be able to tell a future employer or even just somebody, why am I valuable? And, again, I'd have to go back to the Excel skills I picked up. I looked into labor metrics, the overtime, and, SAP and some of these financial softwares, they're user-friendly to an extent, but you can't always just work solely in them. So a lot of the times you're going to be exporting these data into Excel, and then you can use them from there to be able to save out, email, and go about your daily business. So, again, if I could just kind of put it down on my resume of what did I do there and besides just tracking labor metrics, it was really perfecting my Excel skills of being able to use financial softwares, pull out the data, get it into Excel, and then from there be able to manipulate it, find some trends, find some high drivers, which is pretty much of this whole thing. What's the high percentages? What really needs to be tackled first? What's a huge priority? What corrective change really needs to happen now to make an impact to the bottom line. It's just definitely good processes in place to have people learn. I've learned that with larger companies, Sikorsky has been absolutely tremendous in the fact that they're always willing to invest in the young employees, people coming in. I saw a motto not too long ago, actually before starting this internship, was, someone asked, what happens if you invest in people and they leave your company? And the rebuttal was, what happens if you don't invest and they stay? So I feel like the message there is you just always got to, keep resources available to your employees, push them to learn, offer courses, any sort of training that could be possible, and just try to make your human factor as impactful as possible and knowledgeable on the subject. So it was a huge takeaway for me. It's a time in my working life, just as, my career ramps up, it's a place I'll never forget. And, just some of those labor metrics, perfecting my technical skills was some huge takeaways from working at Sikorsky. Thank you very much.